step up to who? There, him in the shirt. Okay, come on down. Come on up here. Yeah, give him a hand. Come on down. Come on up here. Come on up. What's his name? Paul. Good to meet you, Paul. Now, Paul, do you know what the talk is about tonight?
Yes.
Yes. And that is? Yeah, it's a sex talk, yeah. Since it's a sex talk, I got to cover issues like how far is too far to go with a girl on a date, and stuff like that. So what Paul and I are going to do for you is he and I are actually going to show you guys how far is too far to go on a date, okay? And so he's excited. So in order to do this, I'm going to be the guy. Paul's going to be the girl, okay? Paul's not a real pretty girl. And that's a good thing. We can change that. We'll get you prettied up a little bit. So let's see. We'll start with this. We'll put this on you here. There you go. It'll be pretty. It's a little nappy, but it's all good. So the tag goes in the back there. Yeah, there you go. You've done this before. So, Lady Gaga. Now I never dated a Paul before, so we can give you a name change. You could be anything. You could be like what are you thinking? What are you feeling? Like Trixie or LaFonda or Pauline? Okay, we'll do Pauline. So so Pauline and I, we decided to go for a date. Go for a date to the Grand Canyons. The canyon's here. I started thinking, how far do you think I can get my beloved Pauline here to the edge of the Grand Canyon without actually throwing him off the Grand Canyon? And him, her, it, whatever. There's really only one way to find how far we go, so I gotta pick you up in my arms, all right? Okay, so you hold on to this left knee, just hang on. There we go. Yeah. Don't get fresh. Now how far can we go to the edge? Let's see, can we go further? Yeah. Oh, good. Let's see. Now can we go further? No. Should I drop him? No, okay, I want to drop you. Take a seat, give him a hand. Good job, Paul. Thank you very much. What's the point of the whole dumb thing? I mean, the point of that's this, that no guy is going to go on a date with a girl thinking, well, how far can I go before I kill her? You don't ask the question, but, in high school, it's the question we had about girls. How far can you go? Really, can you do this with a girl? Can we do that with a girl? And we had to sit through sex talks. Someone gets up there, and they'd be like, sex is bad, sex is dirty, you're gonna die. And I was like, what? And it's all this guilt, all this fear, all they try to do is scare you. And it's useless. And I remember sitting there like, so what are you telling me? Like, all God cares about my love life? Making sure I'm not too far with a girl? But to prove to you guys a plan, I was in Boston. I met a guy named Kevin. Fell in love with a girl, decided to get married. They go to church, they're getting ready for the wedding. The priest is going through the paperwork. He said, hey, look at that. You guys got baptized in the same church when you were babies. I'm like, oh, that's cool, we didn't know that. He looked closer and said, yeah, you guys got baptized on the same day in the same church as babies. And they went to their parents' photo album. Sure enough, found a picture of the two babies getting baptized together years before they'd ever meet. So you never know what God's up to, man. You might be sitting right next to your future spouse right now. Yeah, sorry about that. One spouse per person. Now, I didn't think that God had some plan for my love life. So the relationships that I got in reflected that. I tend to be very physical, very fast. I remember in high school, I hooked up with this girl and we're doing stuff. And she stopped. And she's like, you're not going to leave me like the other guys, are you? And I'm like, no. And she said, oh, you're so sweet. And I'm like, anyway. And we did things and got to the point, I'm like, well, should I give this girl my virginity? I thought, well, I've already known her for 3 days. And I could hear the voices that Jason's gift is not for her, it's for me, please wait for me. And we cooled things down. I was able to hold on to my virginity. And I know some of you are virgins, some of you are not. Frankly, I don't care what's happened in the past, and I care. If those are virgins, I say good for you. I got right here. This is considered to be the most comprehensive sex research ever done. It's about 700 pages. Now, what they found on page 503 is that people who get married as virgins have a divorce rate about 70% lower than those who won't wait for marriage. Now, some people think, well, that's great, Jason, but look, I'm not a virgin. But I have my virginity taken from me. Does that mean I'll have some messed up marriage? If you're like me, pretty sick on the divorce, we were at high school in Washington. After the talk, a junior came up. He said, Jay, I know what you mean about divorce. He said, Jason, my dad's on his 9th marriage. This boy was 16. He'd seen his dad divorced 8 times. Now I'm originally from San Diego, up the coast in LA. Do you know they have jewelry stores in LA right now that are open for business where you can rent wedding rings? That's how bad it's got. The world expects half of us are going to get divorced. How do you prevent it? How do you find the love you long for? You know the love you want. I got to see it last year. My grandma, she passed away. She and my grandpa, they've been married for 67 years, and they had a beautiful relationship, man. They had 10 kids. Their names were Joseph and Mary. I mean, it was a beautiful thing, and they would flirt with each other all the time. I grew up watching this. I saw my grandpa go up my grandma in the kitchen, and whap, and he hits her on the thigh. And he said, hi. He says, my name's Joe. And she looks at him, she's like, I know. I'm like, oh, they're 100, they're flirting, I love it. And then when she passed away, I stood next to my grandpa at her casket, and before they closed the casket, he leans down, he's got like hip and knee replacements, he's real weak, and he leans over, and he just gave her a kiss on the nose, and he said, bye, babe. And I saw it, I'm like, dude, that's it. That's it. How do we get there from here? We know what we long for, but how on earth are we going to find it in the culture that we're in today? And so I would recommend one basic idea. If you hope to get married, you hope to promise somebody. Now, I'm going to honor you, and I'm going to love you all of the days of my life. Tonight's the day of your life. Like, are you willing to love the person before you even meet them? And what I mean is this. Biggest question we get is, how far can you go? And there's an easy way to know where to draw a line. We're at a high school in Chicago. It's all boys high school, 800 boys. Now, after the talk, guy raised his hand. He said, Jason, your talk was fun, but can we get specific? I said, sure. He said, I want to know exactly how far I can go with my girlfriend. I said, that's a fair question. What do you want to do with her? And he was like, great. I go, okay, we're not in third grade, but you're specific. What do you want to do? He's like, can we do this and this and this and this? And he went through his whole list of sexual favors. And I'm like, that's charming. Slow down. Pick one. You know, and he's like, okay. And he picked something. It wasn't technically sex. But I said, I'm going to have you answer your own question. Do you want to get married one day? He goes, yeah, I'll get married. I said, if you're going to get married, that means your future wife is out there somewhere right now, isn't she? Well, for the first time in his life, he thought about his future bride. And he said, yeah, she is out there. Cool. I go, but let's say she doesn't live here in Chicago. Let's say she's wrong from California. School's getting out right now. She's coming home from class with her boyfriend, who's a guy that you're never going to meet. And he's got his arm around your future wife. And he's saying, baby girl, I love you so much. Your eyes are so beautiful. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet. And he walks her home and sits her on his couch. He's like, hey, baby girl, are you feeling fine? Because you looking fine. She's like, stop. And I said to the guy, I said, dude, you know what's going on that couch, don't you? He's like, yep. I said, that guy's emotionally manipulating your future wife and giving him that sexual thing, trying to make her think if she gives him that, well, he'll like her more. And he's just using her more. I go, does that bug you? And he's like, ew. No. I said, that doesn't bother you? He looked at the floor. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know. That guy doing that with your future wife doesn't bother you. He was like, well, the guy next to him in class is like, I'd be ticked off. And he smacked him in the head, and I broke him up. I said, dude, if you don't want somebody else doing it with the girl you're going to marry, set the same standard for yourself. And this isn't like some condemnation of any of us. It's a calling your love. Like, I'm not going to stand in front of guys in here and say, you guys have to be like me. That's a joke, dude. You're a guy. I'm a guy. Let's sing. Every guy in here has this desire to lust. But there's this deeper desire to love. There's always tension going on. What about you girls realize, man, the guys you're sitting with every day in school, dude, all of us have been lied to about what it means to be a man. We're supposed to learn about manhood from our dads. Girls realize that some of us haven't even seen our dads since we were 3. I mean, even if you have a great dad, you still get lied to about manhood everywhere else. Being told you want to be a man today, you got to get some with the ladies. If you get some with the girls, you're the man. Everything becomes about sex. It's on TV. I'm watching a basketball game. This car commercial came out. There's this lady sitting in her car trying to be sexy. And she's like, the real question is, when you turn your car on, does it return the favor? I'm like, what? I'm like, lady, I drive a pickup truck, all right? If I turned on my truck and it returned the favor, I would freak out. Stop it, that's awkward. But like everything today, it's gotta be sexist, and the basic message is simple. Dude, come on, dude, you're young, you're high school, you're in college, you're gonna do it anyway. You seriously, you're still a virgin? Oh, something's wrong with you. Oh, you're not a virgin? Oh, it's too late for you. It's like all you hear. And it gets old, real old for the girls, because there's a double standard. Because you know as well as I do, if a guy has sex, girl has sex, they get called completely different names for the exact same behavior. If a guy has sex, it's like he gets praised for it. It's like, oh, you got with her last night? Dude, you're the man, you're a pimp. They don't do that with girls. You got some last night? You're a woman, you're a hooker. And it's like, he gets congratulated, she gets condemned, but they did the same thing. We all know it's a mess, but we long for love. Where are you going to find it? God offers it. In the Bible, one passage a guy has to know to love girls. Ephesians 5, St. Paul says to the guys, he says, husbands, just love your wife as Christ loved the church, giving himself up for her to make her holy. To do this, Gospel of Luke said Jesus was praying in agony in the garden. His sweat became like drops of blood and fell onto the ground. I know some of you studying medicine right now, you can learn about this. It's called hematidrosis. which means under extreme stress, the capillaries in your skin can rise up, come in contact with sweat glands, which burst, and you bleed from the pores of your skin. Your whole body becomes like an enormous bruise, and they'd scourge them on. Meaning they strip you naked, they wrap your arms around the pillars, the back stretched out, come up them with wooden rods. At the end of the wood are leather straps. At the end of the whips are fishing hooks, fishing weights, pieces of glass and metal. They torture him, he's almost dead, put the crown of thorns on his head, which they beat into his head with a stick, carries the cross for about 600 yards before they strip him naked, pierce him probably through the wrists, and for hours he just hangs there, giving himself up for his bride at church house. And since St. Paul says, you men, you want to get married? You better prepare to love a woman just like this. And guys hear this. It's like, dude, crucify myself for a girl? That's not even practical. Begins by not learning to sacrifice girls for the sake of ourselves. It's what I learned in high school. Why? Dude, it's because the influence for me back then of the pornography. The thing is, when girls find out how many guys struggle with porn, and it's not just a guy problem, but when girls find out how many guys look at this stuff, girls don't get mad, usually. They feel sorry for us. Because, like, as a guy, porn for a guy is the best way for a guy to shoot his future marriage in the head. Teaching me, you girls, with things to be used for my kicks. When I get bored with you, I'll go to the next fantasy. Now, growing up, we just laugh it off. Oh, I'm not getting anyone pregnant. I'm not passing around AIDS, man. We're just appreciating women, and we laugh it off. Porn was everywhere growing up. Buddies had it, friends. First porn I ever saw, I was in 2nd grade, man. We were riding our bikes in the neighborhood. If I was a dirty magazine in the street, what's that? I'm like, nice to meet you. I'm like, what do we do with it? My friend says, keep it. Yeah, where do we put it? He said, let's put it at your house. I'm like, oh, good idea. So we ride the bikes to the house, and we get there, and I'm like, I'm not putting it inside. I'm not getting busted. I'd never seen porn before, but I knew something was off. So I said, I know what to do. So we ripped out all our favorite pictures, crumpled them up in little balls. We shoved them in the bushes in front of the house. We'd come outside and look at them when we wanted. Now, the problem is, my dad trimmed the hedges Saturday afternoon, found porn growing on the plants out front, so got busted by the porn plant. But, you know, we got back into it. And my high school's everywhere. Dude, one guy in my high school passed out porn from his locker to anyone who would vote for him as senior class vice president. You know, vote for Travis, vote for Travis. I don't know where he is today. He's probably in Congress by now. But, you know, we just laugh it off. And, you know, I know, right now, there's guys in the audience. In your mind, you're thinking, whatever, I got some stuff on the internet. I got a couple videos, swimsuit mags, not a problem. And while a guy desperately tries to convince himself, this is not an issue, then what happens, guy gets emasculated. Emasculation means that a young man is robbed of the ability to be masculine. You look at a crucifix, got masculinity. The lover who empties himself for the beloved. Porn flips it backwards. So guys learn to empty ladies for the sake of ourselves. That we missed the whole point where God made us men. We didn't even know what we were looking at in the porn. I was at the airport in LA once. Who do I bump into in the LA airport but one of the biggest porn stars in the industry? She's signing autographs, taking pictures. All these people around her had no clue that when she was 18, I know, she first posed for Playboy, she went to the studios. They treated her like a queen, doing all the hair, all the makeup. She starts taking the clothes off. She started crying, bawling. She finally pulls herself together. I bet you they just redid the makeup around her swollen eyes, make it look like she wasn't bawling beforehand. They just took the nude photos. Because when you're looking at porn, you're not looking at some naked body. You're looking at somebody's daughter who's probably sexually abused as a little girl. But we just laugh it all off, call ourselves gentlemen for enjoying it. Some of the girls in porn aren't even alive. Porn stars have a huge mortality rate. Death by drug overdose, murder, suicide, AIDS. I mean, I got an email from Grandpa. His friend's granddaughter was in the porn industry, and she died of a cocaine overdose. And after her funeral, the grandpa emails me. And he said, do you ever think how sad it is? How many guys are still lusting after pictures of these girls on the internet without even knowing if she's dead or alive? I mean, the sickness of lusting after a woman who could be a corpse right now should make any guy who looks at porn step back and think, my God, who have I become to women? Who have women become to me? Some of the girls in porn aren't even human beings. Maxim magazine has paid computer companies more than $20,000 a pop to generate fake women. Now, not airbrush, she's fake. Her legs, eyes, everything on a woman created with computers. She doesn't exist. They've used fake girls as their cover models. But they've found out scientifically, if a guy gets addicted to internet porn, swimsuit magazines growing up, neurologically, the man will train his brain to expect all women to live up to his dirty little fantasy. And you get married, where does it leave a wife? And you look at porn, how long do you look at a picture? 15 seconds, 30 seconds. I'm telling you, she could have the most beautiful body in the world, bored of her in less than a minute. And you do it for a couple years. jump into marriage, man, you think you're going to be captivated by one woman till death do you part. It doesn't happen. My buddy in college had all the porn, and he figured, I'll throw it away when I get married. Oh, I went to the wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. The guy was divorced in 3 months. All he did was take all that lust he had for porn, look at his bride that way, and the marriage was over as soon as it started. One girl came in, she said, Jason, she said, I found out my dad looks at porn. She said, I used to look up to him. Now I can't even look at him. I thought he was a better man than that. And the solution isn't just kill your porn habit and then you're pure. The solution is you got to get rid of the porn so you can heal your heart to properly look at a woman. And the solution isn't to kill your sexual desires. That's not possible. That's not realistic. The solution, if you're ready to hear this, is that you would perfect your sexual desires. What does it look like? You know the Catholic Church has a saint who spent all his money on prostitutes? The guy's name was Saint Vitalis of Gaza. He lived in Africa, and he'd work all day under the hot sun, take all the money he earned, and every night bring it to a different prostitute. So she would spend the whole night with him and no other man. But instead of using the girls, he brought them the gospel, prayed with them, prayed for them, told them they could start over, converted a great number of prostitutes who became holy wives and mothers. One morning, he's walking out of a brothel, the house of prostitution. A man saw him, recognized him as a Christian, was so sick of Christian hypocrisy, hit the guy in the head and killed him. And the prostitute came out, she said, you don't know what he did. It was too late, the guy was dead. But historians say when he was being buried, all these former prostitutes came out of hiding, processing with candles and lanterns to his gravesite to honor the man who saw their dignity when they had totally forgotten it. Now, I'm not recommending you try that as a method of evangelization. Don't be going to your campus minister across the street. Hey, can we raise some money to get a prostitute for the students? Service hours. Okay, this is a bad idea. But the point is the redemption of the human heart is possible. And with porn, I'm telling you, what is at stake is nothing less than your entire vocation. Your marriage, everything is at stake. And I don't think you guys are the problem. I think guys are the solution to the problem. Guys always get blamed, but the research backs up otherwise. What they're finding now, how many high school students, at least sexually active? Everybody doing it? Here's the numbers in the United States, America. And these are numbers from when these college students were in high school plus the high school students now. Newsweek magazine comes out 10 years ago. The new virginity, why more teens are choosing not to have sex. Press release, teenage virginity rate rises for 10 years in a row. People magazine caught on. Young teens and sex, what's really going on? They show there's pretty much more sex than ever on TV, but in reality, something big is changing. Latest statistics came out last summer showing, this is from the CDC, 33% of American high school students are currently sexually active. So it's about 1 in 3. 47% have ever had sex, meaning most high school students are virgins. And then this came out, 15 years of research. High school boys' sexual activity is now going down twice as fast as the girls. And people hear that, and they're like, what? Dude, that can't be true. That wasn't on Jersey Shore. Are you sure that's reliable information you have? But the change is going on. In fact, they've found 2 out of 3 high school students who have had sex privately admit they wish they waited longer. There's a change going on. It's happened with the girls. This came out a while ago, Vogue magazine. It's always fun for me to purchase Vogue in public, so I bought one because the cover, it said, naughty versus nice, why showing skin is no longer in. It's this big fashion article showing the whole belly button cleavage thing is going out of style. Because that girl, I mean, she looks desperate. She looks like she's man-begging. Guys get bored with her. She doesn't find love she wants. And I know you girls want love. From a man's perspective, man, biggest way girls ruin their chance of getting love is when girls think that modesty is a joke. And I'll admit, I'm a guy. I don't know the pressure you're under. Look perfect. Eat perfect. My wife was at a toy store. She saw a Barbie doll. She's like, oh, I have to get that for Jason. So she bought me a Barbie doll. And shut up, it's for work. I didn't catch the name on the box. It's something like prostitute Barbie or something. But dude, look at the giving her now. Fishnet stockings, short skirt, strapless top. I don't know what girls call these tops, like a napkin top or something. Look what they did. They gave her 15 sex bracelets. These are different colors representing different sexual things she's willing to do. The pink ones she'll make out with you, the black ones she'll sleep with you. Now, at least, I mean, it did say on the box, though, this is only for girls ages 4 and up. Because, I mean, obviously it's wrong to give it to a 2-year-old. I mean, she could choke on the sex bracelet. She's not ready for that. And, you know, people wrote letters, they complained, oh, Barbie's too skinny. That's not realistic. Too skinny? No way, man. Barbie's fat. Have you seen the new doll they want the girls to play with today? This is flat out creepy, man. This is what they're giving little girls now to play with. I mean, look at this thing.
I mean, I'm not some dietitian, but I know something's missing from your diet if your arms come off like that, okay? And girls, you've been told you've been wearing diapers. You know, behold womanhood. You know, you too can be a woman, okay? Just so, for dinner tonight, you give a grain of rice. For dessert, you give an ice cube. That's fair. But those go right to your hips. But as long as you girls look like this, I mean, you're gonna be loved. And, I mean, you know it's a joke. I mean, you know it. Oops, she's fine, still smiling. You know it's fake, but you don't get the depths of how fake it is. I mean, you know Cindy Crawford's a big model for Revlon. Do you know Revlon makeup thought she was too fat for them? So the computers, they made her arms skinny in their advertisements. Real woman didn't show you. Jody's bogus. I know a girl auditioned for America's Next Top Model. She won the audition. She's real pretty. Producers told her, now, before we film, full disclosure, in episode number 5, we're going to send you to Paris, France for a runway modeling show. And while you're modeling, you're going to cheat on your boyfriend. She's like, no, I'm not. I love him. They said, okay, look, you don't have to actually cheat on him. We're just going to make it look like you cheated on him. She said, no, I'm true to him, and I wouldn't disrespect him like that. They said, okay, you're fired. Kicked her off the show. She never got on TV because she was faithful. Rowena and Shoney. Shoney has beer commercials, billboards, telling you your body is disgusting. Hate your body. And the girl's desire, you just want to look pretty. You look at, 17 magazine or some Abercrombie and Filth picture, and you think, oh, that's cute. If I look like that, I'll find love. It sounds like it makes sense. What happens is this. Girls, look, if a girl dresses like that, and her sexual value is the first thing that brings me to her, dude, what do you want to get to know about her? Her intelligence, personality? You want to get to know body. And if she gives him access to her body, thinking, well, this will make him like me more. What happens? The guy gets bored, loses respect, and he moves on. And she's left there thinking, well, maybe if I was skinnier, he would like me more. Maybe if I did more with him sexually, he would have stayed longer. And with modesty, to understand as a woman, we're so different than you when it comes to sexuality. We get seduced differently. I think a lot of girls today are getting seduced through their ears, like a boy gets seduced through his eyes. Guys get seduced through the eyes because the woman is the most beautiful thing on earth. Girls forget it every day. Nothing's more beautiful than a woman. I mean, what would be? What do guys get addicted to on the internet? Looking at flamingos or something, or like waterfalls, like, oh, my roommate caught me looking at rainbows on the internet. It was a double rainbow, it looked like a triple rainbow. And like, what does it mean? It's like, what is it? The beauty of the world, it's intoxicating. But to understand, we get seduced differently. Girls are getting seduced through their ears. Oh, baby, I've never felt this way about a girl before, huh? Oh, really? I mean, look at the music they write for girls like junior high kids, like Justin Bieber and One Direction, and all the 12-year-old girls go to the concert and they squeal and pass out. But you ever notice, they've got all these all these boy bands, they don't have girl bands. You don't have a bunch of guys from the school going to some concert. Oh, it's Hannah Montana, I'm gonna die. It's never happened. We don't get seduced like that. We get seduced through the eyes. I mean, I'm eating dinner, restaurant in Chicago. I go in the guy's bathroom. As soon as I walk in, it's a huge photograph. 5 women's sexy legs. First thing I thought of, I wonder if I go in the girls' bathroom, kind of peek in the ladies' room, is there going to be a massive photo of 5 men's bare legs in the women's bathroom? And probably not. In fact, just for fun, let's get some guys together after the talk tonight. Let's get a big photo of your hairy legs. Let's stick it in the girls' bathroom across the street over there. What would happen when the college girls walk in tomorrow? They vomit, but why? Boys aren't cute. It's different, though. If a girl don't understand the difference, and in the modesty thing, look, pressure goes both ways. Girls are using guys, guys are using girls. But at the end of the day, I didn't know how to treat a girl until I dated one in college who dressed modestly. And it was captivating. Like, you could take her seriously as a woman. She wasn't trying to make boys stare at her body parts so she'd feel secure. She could have. Hey, boys, check this out. Like, the way she dressed, it's like she's saying, yeah, boys, frankly, I'm worth waiting to see. You will not lift the veil over this body until you lift the veil over my face. Do you know how easy it is to respect a girl like that? You couldn't get bored with her. And I'll grant, you do. You got this God-given power to turn a man's head. But you can use it to shape a man's heart. I saw it in San Antonio, Texas. I met this beautiful newlywed couple. They're expecting a baby. They're deeply in love. And when they first met, the girl was pure as the snow. The guy was the opposite. Mr. Pimp Daddy, sleeping around, looking at porn. And when they first met, he was taken by her. He was infatuated. But he's never met a woman of virtue, of character before, and he's beside himself. So he doesn't even know how to relate to a woman as a woman, so he just starts hitting on her. She thinks it's a joke. She's like, oh, you want to be with me? And he's like, yeah, what's got to happen there? She said 3 things. First, you need to ask my father's permission to court me. And he's like, that's weird, fine, I'll do it. What's number 2? She said, number 2, I want you to read this 500-page book on chastity and theology of the body. And he's like, ugh, I haven't read a book since I was 9. Fine, I'll read your book. He reads 500 pages in 10 days. He said, okay, I did number 2, what's number 3? She said, oh, number 3 is you may not kiss me until the day you lift my veil on the altar as my husband. And he said, sign me up. He dropped his entire former way of life only to become worthy of this one great woman. Now, girls, I'm not recommending you go date Mr. Snoop Dogg hoping you're going to be the Messiah, but the fact is, you got power. The only question remains is now, how will you use that power? And so when it comes to this, you'll never convince a boy of your dignity until you first convince yourself. I was at a high school in Louisiana. Picture a gym filled with 1,400 teenage girls. I said, girls, be honest. How many girls really think to meet a guy today who's got self-control, self-mastery, he's pure in the way he talks about girls and treats them, he's more interested in honoring a woman than winning points with the boys by saying degrading things? How many find that quality in a man makes him more attractive to you? 1,400 girls put their hand up. I'm like, okay. Then I go to the next door to the all-boys school, 1,200 boys. Told the fellas, the girls said. One guy put his hand up. He said, Jason, I don't believe you. I go, I'm serious, I promise all the girls. He goes, no, I believe you. He said, what I'm trying to say is we don't believe them. So why not? And he said, dude, you're telling us they want us to be all innocent and pure, but they're going to dress like that at our dances. They're going to dance like that at our dances. You're telling me she wants me to treat her like some princess, but they're going to act like that every weekend? He said, we don't take them seriously. They don't take themselves seriously. And I'll grant you, girls, it's probably hard to find modest outfits. You got to go buy some formal dress. Everything they sell you is low cut, belly button, bare back, some slit up to your armpit. You know, I know it's not easy, but girls aren't helpless. And girls think, but if you can't be sexy, how do you get a boy's attention? Can you flirt at least? Depends what you mean. Flirting means lots of stuff. Flirting for me, I was in 2nd grade. If I liked a girl, throw a rock at her. You know, like, dude, she's hot. I'm here watching. Now she likes me. Yeah, she got a concussion. That's her problem. Now, I'm working on it. Girls are different. Girls kind of flirt like this. When you're in 4th grade, you'd all flirt like this, all you girls. You'd see the cute guy, and you'd be like, oh, yeah. And you get in a huddle with your girlfriends, like a team effort. Like, he's so cute, what should we do? And the girls start plotting together. Well, let's give him a note. Oh, that's brilliant. Get out the paper. You know, like, do you like my friend? Yes, no, or maybe. It's like a survey. He's got to check a box. Then you commit. Then your girls got like, what, 6th grade, starting to get sophisticated flirting, see the cute guy, oh, he's cute, what should we do? Your friend's like, I know, how about when he's leaving class, I'll shove you into him. Oh, that's good, shove me into him, yeah. Some of you college girls still doing this, apparently. It's okay, you're not slow, you're special. But you guys, see girls hitting each other, laughing? Here's a girl thing that's so funny, dude, this is what girls talk about when they go to public bathrooms, like 30 of them at a time in the bathroom. Dude, they have couches in there sometimes. I've seen them. They got like drawing boards. You shove them into this locker, all come around the back. It's something wrong, but they do it. Then what happens? A girl gets, what, 8th grade high school? Basically, as soon as you become a woman, the world will tell you, ladies, look, now that you become a woman, you got something the boys like now. Better than those old notes getting shoved into you, got that body. You can give it to the guy who's going to like you more. And girls always, they begin with an idea. Okay, let me get this straight. So long as I'm technically not having sex with him, I'm being good. So hooking up and making out, that's not a big deal. Doing this with a guy, I'm sorry, that's not a big deal. Doing this with a guy, well, as long as I love him, it's not a big deal. Why not? Yeah, why is this not even a big deal anymore? Oh, yeah, it's because those other girls I know, they're so much worse than I am. And when it's all said and done, the girl convinces herself the priceless gift of her body, that's not a big deal. Someone dies in the girl. She could go from boy to boy to boy. She never sits still. But by the end of college, she doesn't even know who she is. She defined her whole identity by the boy she's clinging to. Dude, she's so busy, like trying to find a boy, she loses herself in the process. And she thinks she's in love with them. I'm sorry, man. Usually she's in love with the fact that he wants her when she doesn't even want herself half the time. But she is so afraid of loneliness, she'll settle for hooking up, friends with benefits. Something dies in her, man. I read about a guy sleeping, dog starts barking, guy came in the backyard, dog's barking in the bush. The guy's like, dude, it's a bush, shut up, go to bed. Goes to sleep. 2:30, the dog starts barking. Guy came in the backyard with a stick, give her a pooch, smack, beat the dog into submission. Back to sleep. It's 2:45, dog's freaking out. The guy threw a fit, cocked the gun. I don't know if he was drunk, but apparently he came in the backyard and shot and killed the dog in the backyard and went peacefully to sleep. But then what happened is the robber, who was hiding in the bushes, got out of the bushes, walked over the body of the dead dog, came inside the guy's house, apparently killed him in his sleep, and robbed all he owned. And that dog is like our conscience that tells us right from wrong. And I've said to my conscience, dude, shut up. Don't somebody should be doing this with her. Don't somebody should be looking at that stuff. Dude, shut up. I'd kill the boys. Do it anyway. Think I'm free now. I'm not doing what my mom wants. I'm doing the church wants. I'm free. I always think after, dude, you're so free. How come you're empty after? Man, you're so free. You can't even say no to it. You're so free. How come you can't look her dad in the eyes whenever you go over to that house? That's your freedom? And it leads to the point where a girl would think, Jason, look, you got cute little stories, but you don't get it. Look, Jason, I'm not a virgin. Or Jason, I had my virginity taken from me. Or something bad happened to me when I was a little girl. I'm a good guy, like you're all talking about as if I know any. Would even want a girl like me that's been through what I've been through, done what I've done. Jason, I'm damaged goods. Too late once it's gone. It's gone. Okay. Tell you one girl I know. 2 years old, first memory is her alcoholic, unfaithful father beating her mom. And so she's raised in this environment until he divorces when she's like 4 years old and she's raised with no father. He's one of these guys out there, male enough to get a girl pregnant, but not man enough to be a daddy. So she's raised with no father. She gets to high school. She doesn't know how a gentleman treat a lady. Football player asks her out. They start dating, and he says to her, honey, I've never felt this way about a girl before. I love you. And for her, those words were like magic. She's, I never heard that at home. I love you too. He said, if you love me, you'll show me. She knew what that meant, so she and her girlfriends. And she said, Ruben wants to start doing this and that. What do you guys think? They said, you like him, right? She said, well, yeah, I like him. Then they go, it's not a big deal. Everybody's doing it. Don't be a prude. As long as you feel ready, just get it over with. So she figured, yeah, it's not a big deal. And at the age of 15, she lost her virginity, thinking they'd be forever in love. She said, in all actuality, all respect was thrown out the window. But she said, after a while, he don't want to spend time with me anymore. He was basically spending the time with my body. Because when a girl's getting used, she knows it. She tries to distract herself, but she knows that there's no peace. They lost respect for her. They start fighting more. Because every time they're together, it's like, that's all he wanted. And she'd give him sex. For the sake of feeling love, he'd just give her love for the sake of sex. Eventually, they broke up. And she said, I will never forget the day he walked away for the last time. She said, all I could think is that guy's leaving with something that never belonged to him, and I'll never get it back. Not a virgin now. What's the point of waiting for marriage? Kind of late for me. Started a cycle, these relationships. She got to be a junior on campus, biggest stud at school last year, captain of football, basketball teams. And then he says to her, I've never felt this way about a girl before. I love you. She's like, I love you too, Andre. He goes, if you love me, show me. So she goes back to girlfriends. She goes, now Andre wants to start doing it. What do you guys think? They said, look, let's set standards. Let's not sleep with our boyfriends for 6 months. If he can hold out no sex for that long, then I know he loves me, then we'll sleep together. Now she looks back and thinks, six months? 6 months is the price I put on my body? 6 months of his time, attention, phone calls, that's love? So he held out for 6 months. They started sleeping together. And he really lost respect. Started cheating on her, abusing her, physically abusing her. He beat the girl unconscious right in front of other guys. Not man enough to protect her. Emotionally abusing. Dude, you're so fat, stupid, and ugly. It's stupid. She got straight A's in college. Fat and ugly. The girl's a kickboxer, voted the prettiest girl in the high school of 3,000 students. But he had her convinced she's fat and ugly. She was miserable. She said, those Saturday nights, all my friends would say, oh, it's all fun and games. She said, yeah, you wake up the next morning, fun and games are over. I woke up hating myself. She said, I'd sit in my bathroom, flipping over my pregnancy test, scared to death. But then I go to school that morning, biggest mask on my face. I'm so happy with my life. Put a mask on for my parents, one for church, one for the boys, one for me. She said, I was so sick of this, I don't know any way out. Her mom found her birth control pills. Said, you're going to a chastity talk. She goes, I'm not going to your stupid sex talk. I heard those before. Mom said, I don't care, you're going. Forces her. Now, I don't know who gave her the talk, it wasn't me. But she said, that guy got up there. In the 1 hour I sat still, she said, my life did a 180. She said, the guy was honest, blunt, and real. And he didn't judge any of us. But she said, it felt like he took my hand out of the audience, walked through my whole life with me. He had done all that I had done, sex, smoking, drinking. But she said, he had something I didn't have. I wanted it back. He wasn't ashamed of himself. He had a backbone. I wanted that. After the talk, she went up to him. They talked for a long time. She took his advice. Just start over. She went home, wrote down a list, 60 things she dreamed of in a future husband. Why never again would she settle for less. That weekend, the guys called her up. Hey, girl, want to hook up over at Andre's house? She was stupid. She knew what they wanted. First time ever, she said no. She stayed home, a little lonely, where she wrote her first love letter to her future husband. I said no to them tonight out of love for you. I'm respecting my body tonight out of respect for you. I can't wait for the day we're going to meet. With all my hopes and prayers, and she signs it. Next weekend, they called her back. Hey, girl, where you been? Trying to be too good for us? They tried to make her feel guilty for taking care of herself for once. She turned down again, another love letter. Every time she was tempted to go back that life, she'd read the old letters and write a new one. She got stronger. Stack of letters got thicker and thicker and thicker. Now, why do you think I know all this stuff about that girl? It's because she's the girl who gave me every single one of those letters on our honeymoon when I married her 9 years ago. This girl's my wife, my bride, the mother of my kids. Could you imagine how grateful I am? She started waiting for me. What if she heard the talk in high school and just blew it off? Chastity, abstinence, what a joke, not for me. You think I would have met her? You think our marriage would exist? Do you think the little baby girl that we just had this last summer would exist? And it was cool. When we found out we were pregnant, specifically her, you go to doctors, you get to do a little ultrasound, you can still do it on the TV screen. First one, baby was as tall as a grain of rice, and you could watch the heartbeat. It was awesome. Most of the ultrasounds stink. You can't see anything. I'm like, is that his head? They're like, that's his butt. I'm like, no, I'm like his dad. But now, they have these high-tech ultrasounds. They call them 4D. They can now zoom in on your kid's face in color, live, 3D videos. They have videos now of kids who appear to be laughing at something in their mother's wombs. So when we found out we're expecting, we brought our little kids to the doctor's office. And we said, hey, little guys, if you look at that TV screen, you're going to see your baby or brother or sister for the very first time. No kidding. As soon as the unborn baby's profile came into focus, this little hand reaches up and it waves back at the screen. And all the little kids are like, hi! The doctor's like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, yeah, that's my kid. He's pro-life. Then we got one of my boy, Colby, and when he was in her womb, he's real tiny. He's only as tall as your cell phone. But then you zoom in on that little beautiful face, and this is what he looked like, taking a nap in my wife's womb 5 months before he was even born. And do you get the point, though? Do you understand? My boy's existence depended on a choice his mom made to turn her life around years before he was even conceived. And when we got married, yeah, I was a virgin when we got married. You couldn't have paid me anything to give to anyone but my bride. Now, she was not a virgin. She was worth waiting for. She knew it. I would have waited for until I was 50. She started over. A lot of ways I did too, and I ended up divorced. So we did things that statistically will decrease your divorce rate. First thing, we would not live together before we get married. You know how couples do that today? Cohabit, shack up, play house, test drive each other, get married. Yeah, how are those marriages doing? Twice as likely to get divorced. So why do they do it? They say, we need to see if we're compatible with each other. Trust me, if you're a guy and she's a girl, you are not compatible in marriage. I figured that out so fast. Like, look who's laughing, the old people. They know what I'm talking about. Like, dude, I knew we were compatible. Oh, right after the honeymoon, we get back. She moves all her stuff in my bathroom. You know what happens when a girl gets in a guy's bathroom when you get married? It's called the hostile takeover, all right? Because, like, the guy's bathroom's perfect. We got soap, shampoo, all you need. She moves in. I counted one morning 24 bottles of different things in the shower. She's got, like, pumice foot polish and, like, kneecap remover. And she's got, like, this body wash, exfoliating, you know, apricot, guava, cream, and pork chop and applesauce. I'm like, oh, salad dressing. They got razor blades in for her. They got bags of junk. One of the bags said lemon sage body butter. Like, dude, what is that for? Like, guys aren't, like, how many of you guys have body butter? Well, don't answer the question, but the point is that you're not going to be compatible. And that's just because girls are weird and guys are entirely normal, and that's obvious. But, you know, successful marriages are not because you're perfectly compatible, but you love one another to deal with the obvious incompatibilities, to learn to forgive and to sacrifice. It's all the qualities you learn through chastity. And girls, I mean, really? Living with the boy? Do you think that through real hard? You girls go on one date with the boy and he's a jerk. Breaking up's easy, it's one date. Okay, date a guy for 6 months to break up. Okay, that's harder. But now you sleep with them, now you move in with them, and then it dawns on you he's not the right one for you. Do you know how hard it is to let go when you've given away so much? Girls don't want to. They want to stay put, fix the guy, make a project out of him, and he doesn't change. She's the one who changes, always for the worst. And people say, oh, come on, be realistic, man. You want to buy a car? Don't you test drive it before you buy it? It's a good point. Hey, now what do you do with that car in 5 years and a better looking one comes out? That's right, you dump the old one, you get the new model. You can do that with a spouse too. You test drive things, you can't test drive something that's permanent, a person. So first thing is we didn't shack up and play house. Second thing, we didn't sleep together before we got married. If I had sex with Kristalina before we were married, I mean, I'd be lying to her. I mean, my body'd be telling her one thing. Oh, I've given myself totally to you, I'm all yours. If I'm not the woman's husband, the embrace is a lie. A movie came out, this guy had sex with Cameron Diaz, and afterwards she says, look, don't you know when you make love to a woman, your body makes a promise to her whether you do or not. The promise of sex says, I am entirely yours, and if you're not married, it isn't true. And some guy will say to me, dude, but what if it's not like that? Some cheap one-night stand, you're drunk all over her. What if you really care about this girl? Both talked about it, both feel ready. How come you can't sleep with her if you really love her? Really love her? What's that mean? You do what's best for her. Really? Best for her to wake up tomorrow. Am I pregnant? Is my mom going to find out? I spoke at a high school in Texas that had 87 girls pregnant on campus. It didn't include the junior high, brought the number of pregnancies over 100. But here's the question. How many pregnancies do you think the school would have if it were the guys who could get pregnant? Girls, wouldn't it be neat? Just 1 month of the year, if guys could get pregnant, man, how things would change. Guys would be like, it is National Abstinence Awareness Month this month. I've got my pledge card signed on Tuesday, expires in 30 days. I mean, girls, everything would be different. Dating, prom night would be different. I mean, go there with me, girls. Prom night, hotel room, football player, the girlfriend. She starts flirting about sex. He'd be like, whoa, I'm not ready for sex. Coach would kill me if I got pregnant on the football team next year. I can't run for touchdowns like that. That's not gonna work. You know, he'll let her take the risk any night of the week. And some guys will tell me, oh, but I'm telling you, I really love this girl I'm sleeping with. Dude, look, if a guy loves a girl he's sleeping with, how come if they're in bed together at her house and her dad comes home, the guy will jump out of like a 5-story window rather than face the dad? If he really loves a girl, I think he should stay in bed with her. No kidding. Let's say they're in bed together at her house and her dad comes home, just say from a hunting trip, okay? He didn't get to shoot anything yet. And so they're sitting there in bed, and the girlfriend, she sees the dad's truck. I mean, you know she's gonna freak out. It's my dad, he has guns, you have to hide. Boyfriend should look at her like, I don't need to hide. I've always wanted to show your dad how much I love his daughter. I think this would be a perfect opportunity to give him that information. It's never gonna happen. He's gonna freak out. I know it. It happened to my friend John in high school. He's over at my friend Michelle's house. They're up in her bedroom messing around. They weren't even supposed to be seeing each other. Her dad is supposed to be out of business. He comes home early, sees John's car out front. Oh, boom, he busts the door. They hear him come upstairs. My friend John is freaking out because, you know, he's trapped. There's nowhere to go. And he's like, Michelle, where can I hide? In the closet, the desk, in the microwave. There's no. Now he looks at Michelle's bed. It's like 6 inches off the ground. So he's like, honey, I'm going under there. And he dives under the bed. He wiggles under the mattress. He's like, and the bed's like moving up and down in his chest. And Dad busts the door down. Boom. Where's John? Michelle, smooth. Michelle's like, John who? Like, sweetheart, the bed's levitating behind you. There's a clue. Dad comes over the bed, looks underneath it. Yeah, my friend John is on the floor in the corner shivering like a rat under the bed. It's like, what is he doing there? Maybe if he really loves this girl. Why doesn't he go, boy, you better hide from the man who loves her the most? Because he knows in the depths of his heart, come on, this has nothing to do with sacrificial love. It's about lust, pleasure. If we're about love, man, you know how proud he'd be to show the father how he loves the daughter? But as it is, he hides. Why is her dad like that, man? He's so tight and protective. He's not naive. He knows the price she's going to pay. And check this out. They study girls from the ages of 12 to 26. When a girl starts having sex, what happens in her life? They found if a girl starts having sex when she's 12, it's like 7th grade, those girls on average will go on to sleep with about 21 different guys in their life. If she starts having sex in 8th grade or freshman, it's 14 different sexual partners. Sophomore, junior, it's 8. Senior, it's 7. If you're 19 or 20, it drops down to 5. Wait till you're 21, it drops down to 3. The longer you wait to have sex. But the sooner the girl starts, she's more likely now to have more breakups, STDs, out of wedlock pregnancy, become a single mom, live under the poverty level, have a divorce, have an abortion, be depressed, on and on. Longer a girl waits for sex, the happier her life will be. Doesn't mean you have some terrible life if you're not a virgin. All it means is, how can guys look at this and say, oh, but I love my girlfriend enough, I can do this to her. Now with Crystal and I, this is not why we save sex for marriage. I mean, you think we practice chastity because of this? Like, well, honey, I'm afraid of increasing your rates of living under the poverty level. Honey, we certainly can't do that tonight. I know, dude, raising my weight is simple. I love her, and love can wait to give, but lust can't wait to get. If you're sexually active right now or is doing sexual stuff, just take it out. Let's see if it's real love. We did the big public high school in Michigan. There are 1,000 freshmen, 1,000 sophomores. After the assembly, this senior runs in. He's like, dude, who told my girlfriend all about chastity? I was like, me. He's like, man, I go, what's the matter? Now, it turns out he's a senior, his girlfriend's a freshman. He's one of these older guys who doesn't have enough social skills to date a girl his own age, so he tries to get lucky with the young ones. But it's like, what's the deal with girls and older guys? Like, how many of you girls in here are like 15 or 16 years old? Put your hands up, 15 or 16-year-old girls. Put your hands up, put them up high, put them up high. How many girls are currently pursuing a 13-year-old boy? Proud of you. How come girls laugh at it? But if a guy's older, shouldn't think twice. First what happen is girls mature faster than guys do. I know girls think, oh, that's a shocker, but I mean, think about it. Look at like 13-year-old girls. They're sitting at home right now, texting each other. Oh, I want a relationship where I can communicate about my feelings and my friends and my shoes. And look at an 13-year-old guy. He's not there. He's not close, man. 13-year-old guys, they're sitting at home right now, and they're like, and the noise in their is fascinating. And that's fine. I still do that. But the thing is, and I tell my wife how to do it. And the thing is that 13-year-old girls get bored of the 13-year-old guy. But then along comes Mr. Senior, the freshman, Mr. College guy, the high school girl. First thing she thinks, oh, he's older than me, he's more mature, he likes me, it's exciting. Little as you know, all the guys know it. The younger she is than you, the more easily she'll give in to your sexual desire. She's afraid of rejection. I'll bet you girls whatever you want. You know what most of the time what's going on right there? I'll bet you anything. That girl is looking for the love she never got from her own dad. But she's not going to find it in the arms of another man. I mean, from the time you girls were 2, all you want to know is, Daddy, Am I beautiful? Do you love me? Do you want me? You gonna be here for me? Girls, look, I'm sorry. Look, if your dad, if he's absent or abusive in your life, you go in the world, the question's not answered. Older guys show up. Yeah, you're beautiful. Yeah, I want you. Feels like it's making up for that missing love. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm putting my little girl Mary to bed this summer. I'm kneeling next to her bed, just talking, saying prayers to her. I give her a hug at night. I go to hug her, and she just holds on to me. It's like a minute, 2 minutes go by, and she's just squeezing me. I can feel her little 5-year-old heart beating on mine, her breath on my cheek. I just give her this big hug, and she squeezes and lets go. And she said, wow, Dad, that was a lot of love. I'm like, you bet, girl. And then the next night, give her another big hug. She said, Dad, your breath smells like dead frogs. That's your mom's cooking. And then the next night, I give her another hug. She said, Daddy, what if your eyeball fell out? And I'm like, dude, what is that? But I saw it that first night, like her little precious 5-year-old heart, like a little sponge, just awaiting the love of the father to fill it up. And if that's not filled up back at home in a healthy way, that girl goes in the world willing to settle for nothing but lust. Because, man, at least she feels wanted for something. I mean, my wife met a girl at one of the high schools we spoke at, and she slept with 20 guys in the last 3 months. And my wife said to her, why are you doing this to yourself? And she said, oh, it's fun. You go to parties, you hook up, it's fun. And finally, someone took the poor girl seriously. She says, no, really, is it fun? She said, no, it's not fun. She said, look, my parents are going through a divorce. Every time I get home, there's nothing but hurt and hate and screaming. And just for the minute those guys hold me, at least I feel wanted for something. This girl's not some slut. Her heart is identical to ours. All it ultimately wants is love. And these kind of girls haven't heard the boy's lines before. The number one thing he'll say to get you in bed with him is, look, I love you so much. I would never pressure you to do anything sexually you're not comfortable with. I totally respect that. We can just wait until you feel ready. And she thinks, oh, he's so much sweeter than the other guys. But if you watch it, he'll sexually take from her all she's willing to give him. He doesn't guard her innocence. He's wearing it down. He's not a spiritual leader. He's like a spiritual midget. But she can't tell. Her girlfriends tell her, can't you see he's bad for you? It's like she's deaf. She's like, I know he has problems, but he smells good. I can't break up. I don't know what to do. And she stays put and gets burned. But when it's real love, it'll bring you closer to everybody who loves you. Family, friends, God. When it's not real love, you just get plucked away from all three. And you know what it's like talking to girls in this stuff. It's like they can't even see it in front of their face. I know some of your nursing students, part of the reason is because there's a neurochemical in your brain called oxytocin. And what happens is women release oxytocin during childbirth, breastfeeding, and sexual intimacy. Guys release oxytocin only during sexual intimacy because we don't breastfeed nearly as often, but what happens is when you got oxytocin flowing in your brain, it does at least 4 things. It causes massive emotional bonding. It impairs your critical thinking abilities, where you focus on the positive, overlook the negative, and it makes you trust the other person more. Now think about that. A woman is giving birth. I've seen this. She feels bonded to the baby, bonded to her husband, bonded to the obstetrician, bonded to the nurse. And I've had stories where obstetricians have been in grocery stores like 3 years after delivering a baby, and the mother sees him and she's like, oh, Dr. Jackson, I love you. And he's like, who are you, woman? I don't even know you. Because she had this massive bonding experience. Also, the pain she's in, she overlooks it because of the oxytocin. First baby we had in the delivery room, my wife was like, this is your fault, never touch me again. And then the baby's born, and she's like, that was beautiful, I want more babies. And I'm like, wow, how did that happen? And then it's the same thing with breastfeeding. She's up 5 times a night feeding the baby, but she's bonded, she's not as critical, she feels close and looks at the positives of it. Sexual intimacy, husband and wife. They're close, they trust each other, they're bonded, they're binded, and they're blinded. In marriage, it's perfect. Before marriage, it is so dangerous because you feel so close to this person, you cannot see the negatives. You trust them. In fact, Discover Scientific Magazine published a study where they inhaled oxytocin up people's noses with a nasal spray and then had them do a game of investments. And they found out the subjects who had whiffed oxytocin up their nose made literally stupid investments with their money. They're like, oh, you're a nice person. You can have all of my money. And the people who didn't have the oxytocin were much more reserved in how they spent their money. So what happens in the sexual relationships, you think you've got all these things all figured out. You feel so intimate, but sex often covers up an absence of love which entirely failed to develop. And so what happens, these older guy-girl relationships, remember that guy at the high school comes in, who told my girlfriend about chastity? I go, me, what's the matter? He said, man, I just saw my girlfriend in the hallway after your talk. She looked all happy. So I said, where you been last hour? She said, your chastity talk. Came in here to see what happened to her. I said, dude, you can sleep with her again one day. Marry her. He was like, oh. I said, isn't she worth waiting for? He said, no. It's the love test. I mean, you want to know if a boy loves you? Here's your chance to find out. Louisiana State University, girl I know there came back from a date crying. And her mom said, what happened? She said, I went on a date with that guy. As soon as I get in the car, he starts making little sexual jokes of what he wants.